You're trying to look on the outside to how to look the part, but God has already set you apart on the inside. Hey, my lovely YouTubers, welcome back to my YouTube channel with me, your girl, Morgan Tracy J. And yes, I am using my microphone today because my office right now has this loud, crazy echo going on, and it's just easier to just plug this in, start recording, okay? And so welcome back to my YouTube channel with your girl, Morgan Tracy J. And today, y'all, I want to just pour into you. And I actually tried to record this a while ago, and it didn't feel very natural. And all I heard the Lord say was, Morgan, just be you. And I don't know, I've never really shared this, but when I get on camera sometimes, I know that a lot of you guys are going to listen to this. But then also I know that some people are going to pick through my words and pick through me as a person and maybe even my style or what I'm wearing and everything. So sometimes I can even get on guard, okay? And I have to remember that I'm not here for anybody but for that one. God told me years ago, just help my daughters. And I remember I said, how do I help your daughters? And he said, the same way that I've helped you. So today, I'm not here to look the part. I'm not here to be the part. I'm not here to get the hand claps or for the good job, Morgan comments, nor am I here for the bad stuff as well. But I'm here to just do what I've been called to do. I'm here to do the mandate that God has given me for my life, and it is to help his daughters. So today, I'm going to help you even fulfill the mandate that God has on your life. There are some things that God has called you to do, and he's told you to do, but you don't know how to do it. And then sometimes you're like, well, I don't look the part. I don't dress the part. So-and-so might say something about me. They may view me a certain way. They may not like me. They may not invite me to the event anymore because I said this, or they may not think I'm a part of the cool crowd anymore. And I want to tell you that happens to me all the time. That's why I had to stop recording and press record again, because I noticed that I wasn't being Morgan. And the truth is, I got to remember who I am and what God has called me to do, not with whoever else is and how they do it. And I want to encourage you today, because I feel like there's a girl out there who's maybe looking at me and looking at others and looking at how some people do things. And you're like, is this how I have to do it? And I want to tell you, no. It's not. You don't have to do it like me or anyone else. You just have to do it the way God has called you to do it. You have to do it based off of who you are. And the truth is, I remember in the beginning parts of my walk, I started doing ministry, and I remember feeling like I had to wear these long skirts and I had to wear dresses all the time. Nope, I wasn't a part of a church or anything that made me do that. But to me, it was just like, it made me feel, I felt like that was the only way I would be accepted. Because I didn't grow up in the church. I didn't grow up when I didn't have these credentials, and I didn't have my degree in theology. I didn't have that. So I'm like, I got to look the part, right? And so here I am trying to look the part when God had already set me apart and made me apart inside. So I was out here trying to look the part when on the inside I was already the part. So I want to tell you, daughter of God, sometimes you're looking at your setup and you're looking at your situation and you're looking at your life and you're like, I do not look the part of this call. God has called me to do this, but I don't have no background in that area. I don't have this. I don't have that. But the truth is, you're trying to look on the outside to how to look the part, but God has already set you apart on the inside. You see, God told me to help his daughters when I was about 20 years old in college, about 2021, when the Lord said, help my daughters. And I didn't know what to do, and I didn't feel qualified, and I didn't understand it. But then I had to go back and remember that when I was in high school, I was a mentor to a little girl named Raina at the Boys and Girls Club. I already was helping his daughters. This has been in me. And then I had to go back and remember this time when I went to a party, and there was this drunk girl, and me and my friends and my cousin, we just put her in our truck, and we found her home, and we took her home at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. It was in me to help his daughters. I had to go back to a time when I remember I was in college before I even had a call to the ministry. I would sit in the library and girls would come and talk to me, and we would talk about relationship, and I would give them advice, even though I wasn't even in a relationship, but I would give them life advice, because guess what? It was already in me. So daughter, the thing you are battling with is already inside of you. Your purpose lives in you. It's in you. It's breathing through you. And you're trying to figure out how to strategize and how to market and how to get it right and how to get the right setup and the right camera and get the lights. When daughter, it don't matter. None of that even matters. What matters is that you do what you've been called to do, the way God has called you to do it. You see, I was trying to put on the long skirts and I was trying to become this preacher or this minister when God was just saying, daughter, just help my daughters, just speak, and whatever route it takes you there. I can go to churches sometimes and they're like, Minister Morgan Tracy J, Prophetess Morgan Tracy. And you know what? I smile because God never told me I was a minister. God never told told me I was a prophet. God never told me those things. All he said was help my daughters. And the thing is, he gave me the gift of speaking. And so I'm just using one of my gifts to help his daughters. And then he gave me the gift of writing. So I used another gift to help his daughters. And I want to tell you right now, sometimes we overcomplicate the move of God. All he said is, daughter, do this. And then we start saying, how? What am I supposed to do? I got to get the setup. I got to get the money. I got to get the people over here. I got to build the team. And all he's saying is, daughter, I already put it in you what you have. Everything you have right now is all that you need. In the beginning of my ministry, I didn't have a team. I barely even had a good laptop, okay? I didn't have anything, but I had everything I needed in that season. And I want to tell you the same thing. You are looking externally. Oh, you haven't posted the thing yet. You haven't told people about this great idea. You haven't moved on the mandate, and you're holding on to this great thing because you feel like it has to look like somebody else's. And the truth is, that's what holds a lot of us back. And there's a season, and I've said this before, where I had to unfollow people on Instagram before. This was early on in my ministry because I was trying to do things like them. I remember I had to unfollow people on my social media platforms because I was trying to do it like them. And this was early on. This is when nobody even really knew me. And God had to say, hey, daughter, I am building this. And I've already put it inside of you. You don't have to do it like them and her and he and she and them. You got to do it the way I've called you to do it. So daughters of God, right now, I want to tell you this. If you are somebody who's been sitting on something and God has told you what to do, but you've been looking at your current situation and your current circumstances, and you're looking at your bank account, and you're looking at your life, and you're looking at your lack of credentials, and you're looking at how unqualified you are, if you're looking at all of that, you're not going to get the faith to move on the thing he told you to do. So I want to say to the daughter right now, quit looking at everybody else. Quit looking at what you don't have. Quit trying to multiply your doubts and start multiplying your faith. Quit looking at the things around you and start just realizing that all he told me to do was this. See, all God told me to do was help his daughters. He didn't tell me how. He didn't tell me where. He didn't tell me what to do. He just said, help my daughters. That was it. That's all he said. And thankfully, I started doing YouTube. But at first, I started trying to go to churches, and I started trying to do those little things like that, when really I was already kind of tapping into it on my campus at the time, but I couldn't see it at that moment. But I was already tapping into it when I was helping girls and talking to girls in the library and things like that. But all I had to start doing over time was keeping that at the forefront. Help his daughters, help his daughters. How did he help me? You know what? He set me free from that trauma. He set me free from that abuse. He set me free from alcohol. He set me free from wanting to smoke so much. He set me free from having to be with a different guy or just wanting to be with different men. He set me free from some of these things. So let me start sharing my journey. He set me free from the desire to watch pornography. He set me free. So I just started sharing. It wasn't rocket science, and it's not for you either, daughter. So sometimes we get this word of God. God literally might say like, oh, go help your little cousin. Oh, invite your friend to church. And then we make it so much more complicated, right? And so I would encourage you today, daughter, if you are somebody and you feel like you're always stuck, you can't move forward, you have the idea, you have the content, but you never put it out there. You're looking too much around. You're looking at me or you're looking at somebody else way too much. When you just need to look at you and realize that everything you're already wanting, you're desiring to do, it's already inside of you. So the stuff I do today, I was already doing this at a way smaller level. I was doing it in high school to my friend. I was doing it to the little girl that I mentored at the Boys and Girls Club. I was doing it in college without even realizing it. Girl, your purpose is inside of you. There's nothing you have to do for it. There's nothing you have to strive for it. It's in there. So the moment you start walking more into it, it's just going to start bubbling out of you. The artistry starts flowing. The poetry starts to flow. The gift starts to flow. So I want to encourage you today, whatever that mandate is for you. And if you don't know it yet, that's okay. Keep walking your walk of faith. There was years I did not know my purpose. There were years I was walking like, God, what are we doing in this degree? Like, why am I here? I had no direction in my life. There were some years like that, but only my focus was just continuing to love the Lord and just try to be better. You know, I mean, I obviously had my vices at that time. So some of my focus was getting past my vices as well. I had a lot of struggles at that time. I had a lot of healing that needed to take place inside of me at that time. So that was my focus. And so I want to share this with you right now. If you are that girl who is literally so stuck and sitting in her own greatness that the Lord has given her, sitting with her own gifts and her own ideas and her own purity and her own just awesomeness within herself that the Lord has given her. And you're the one sitting there and you can't move. You're looking too much at other people. You're looking at how they did it and I did it and someone else did it. And you might need to, girl, it might be me you have to unfollow. And I'm not mad at it. You might have to unfollow somebody for a season. And I've had to do it. There was a certain minister lady back in the day that I would watch and I would see how she dressed and I would see how she spoke. And I remember just feeling like, I got to be like that. So I remember feeling like I had to wear the long skirts and I had to wear the dresses and I had to be like this. And real quick, the Lord said, no, you don't. That ain't you. I called Morgan to be Morgan. I put a gift in Morgan that is different. Morgan has a different personality. Morgan has a different style. Morgan is different. And so I had to unfollow her for a season. Today I follow her. She's a powerful woman, I love her. But I had to unfollow her for a season because I was in the beginning stages of my vision. And God didn't need my vision to be eroded or to be transitioned or transformed in a way that he didn't call it to be. I needed my vision to follow his way. So I want to tell you today, girl, if you've caught yourself stuck, and you haven't put nothing up, and you haven't put nothing out there, and you haven't even came up with the idea, and you have the idea, but you haven't even wrote it down yet. And if you keep catching yourself back in that cycle, not moving forward, you start it, you stop, you start it, you stop. You're looking too much out there, and you're not honing in on the greatness, the great Spirit of God inside of you. That gift is in you. It's been there all your life. It's there. And the gift comes with a purpose. So seek the Lord for the purpose of the gift. The Lord gave me a gift in speaking and writing, and the purpose of that gift was to help his daughters. So I don't know, this week it's on YouTube. Sometimes it's on my Instagram. Sometimes it's in person. Some weeks it's giving out prom dresses and helping his daughters that way. Some other weeks it's fashion. I don't know. I'm just having a great time on the journey. Now, it's not perfect. I make mistakes. I fail a lot at this. But when I get confused, when I get lost, I go back to the mandate. Morgan, are you helping his daughters? So it's like, oh, we want to do that event. We want to spend that amount of money. Okay. But is that going to help his daughters? All right. Then we're on track. Will this help his daughters? If we do this program, will this help his daughters? And that's what I want to encourage you with that. So ladies, thank you so much for joining me on this video. I actually have a ministry called His Daughter's Closet. It actually came from that very word the Lord gave me, help his daughters. And so if you are somebody who needs a little bit more inspiration, pick me up to build that faith walk and to just really grow in the Lord, I want you to click the link in the description box. I got a powerful free resource called Embracing the Secret Place, and I want to help you get that faith walk. So ladies, thank you for watching. I will see you in my next one. I love you guys. Bye.